Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Vlad Martinov, CEO of Yota.
Good evening. Buonasera. Obviously, one side is not enough for us. And when we started our business 3 years ago, we actually realized there's an interesting thing happening in the smartphone business. On one side, the form factor of current smartphones didn't change for the last 8 years. It has stayed basically the same since the first iPhone. On another side, the way we use smartphones are changing faster and faster every year. And we read more and more on our smartphones. We consume more and more data and services. We rely on more and more applications than ever. But due to certain hardware limitations of the current smartphone, in particular high power consumption display technology, there are quite a lot of things which are already not convenient for us. And I'm talking not only about the need to charge the battery several times per day or carry charging devices with you. It's more like being afraid, constantly afraid that your phone can die at any moment. And there are a lot of other issues with mainstream display technology, like you have to wake up the phone, unlock it, make a few clicks before you get information to what you need. And that's quite annoying, it's quite disturbing, and because it can break conversation, interrupt the meeting. Another thing I didn't mention is it's very hard to read on a current smartphone in direct sunlight. And in general, to use the smartphone, make calls, send a message, it's very difficult because the current display technology has a reflection in the sunlight. So we realized this consumer frustration 3 years ago and invented Yotaphone, the first world phone with two fronts. As we believe, new category in the smartphone because it has two sides and one of them is always on. And since we unveiled this information about 2 years ago, we realized people love it because we've got so much positive coverage from the media and so many recognitions from international experts in smartphone industry and amazing enthusiasm of Android community. And for the last 2 years, we learned quite a lot from different experts, from Android community, and from the Yotaphone users of our Yotaphone 1, first generation. And we use this knowledge and ideas in development of Yotaphone 2, quite a lot. And today we are quite happy that we managed to bring to consumers mass market product which will help and bring value, will be more useful to the mainstream consumers in their everyday lives. Actually, we believe that we are setting new trend in the smartphone industry. And let me share with you what Yotaphone 2 does for me and what so specifically he does for me that nobody else can do, and how I use it for the last 6 months. Before I make a demo, I'd like to say a few words because there are a few things which I like about the phone. And the first is, for the last 6 months, I never worry about battery life. Basically, with reading mode, I can read books for up to 5 days on a single charge. With Yotaphone 2, when we talk about battery life, we talk about days, not hours. If I need basic smartphone functions, like making calls, sending messages, checking emails. I can do it in the power safe mode, which we call Yota Energy, and it can stay 2 days on a single charge. And the phone activates this mode by default when you have about 10% charge of your battery, but I actually use it quite a lot when I travel and activate it much earlier than that. And let me show you why. Let me put the demo on the screen so you can see. Так, okay. Yes, so I'm right now in Yota Energy mode. So as you can see, I have 18 hours and 83% battery. I activate it and it's recalculated. Now I have 2 days in the power safe mode. What can I do in this mode? Quite a lot of things. I can dial the number. Let me make it a little, can you make it a little bigger? Yeah, I can dial the number. I can return my missed calls. It's very interesting because I keep it on the end. Okay. I can check my mails. I can respond to my mails by pulling keyboard, typing there. I can call to the favorite contact, I can check SMS message, I can do quite a lot of things. One interesting feature, which I also use a lot, we call it Yota Snap. And the Yota Snap can grab any piece of information. It could be map, the address, could be, this is the map, could be boarding pass. This is pretty cool because when the phone dies and you have battery 0, I can still have this image on Yotaphone and I can either pass security or have a paper map to get the location where I go. So Yotaphone has a kind of life after death. So it's still useful even when you're running out of battery. So I already mentioned about reading. Reading, quite important. As I mentioned, you can read for up to 5 days on a single charge, but it's not only about books, literature, and novels. It's also about news, RSS feeds, social media, anything, any text information we consume today. Interesting enough, it's very convenient to read in direct sunlight. And one of the biggest feedback we have from Yotaphone2 users is, would it be cool if you can not just read on always on display, but also can have the entire universe of Android applications on a second screen. So, and we're introducing today the brand new feature which called Yota Mirror. And you can do, what you can do with this feature, you can mirror your regular Android interface and user experience to the always-on display just by simple gesture, what I'm doing right now. So now I've got full Android interface and I can use my applications open like Kindle or Remember the Milk, like shopping list, or any applications I need on always-on display. So this is pretty cool because I'm not limited with number of applications I can run on this screen, and again, it's very convenient in the bright sunlight. But Android interface was not designed for always-on display. So that's why we decided to build our own Yota native interface. We called it Yota Panel. And we decided to do this to make the image clean and high contrast. So with Yota panels, you can put any information you want on always-on display, and it's always available to you just at a glance. Just simply looking at this. Compare this to any other smartphones where you need to wake up the phone, unlock it, make a few steps before you get what you need. And by the way, average person do this 150, 200 times per day. So literally every 5 minutes, we spend our time unlocking our phones. That's crazy. And that doesn't have to be this way. We do it differently with Yotaphone. So we don't want you to interrupt your meeting or the family dinner or get your attention from the loved ones and give it to the Yotaphone or give it to any other phone. Yotaphone can help you to focus on what is important. And let me show you how I use it and what panels I have. Again, okay, good. So I have reading panels. Yeah, I've got some cold. Yotaphone project was very tough for me. Okay, my apologies. That's one. It's okay. I'll speak slower, lower. So Yota panels can do a lot of things for me. So here I have a kind of entertainment or social Yota panel where I have my sport RSS feeds, my games. I have chess, and I have I have a few other things. Then I have my business panel, which I use during the day. I set it the way that I have my next upcoming meeting, which you can see here, lunch with partners. I have my latest mail. I have my I can put any information like stock exchange rate, currency exchange, and even the weather. For example, the weather forecast for the day in Milan. So this is pretty cool because during the day, and I have a lot of back-to-back meetings, I put my phone in front of me on the desk and I concentrate on my business partner, on my conversation, and the phone kind of doesn't distract me from what is I'm doing in real life. This is extremely convenient. It's very difficult to explain, but it's really, you understand as soon as you use the phone for a few days. So what else? So these panels, it's a number of widgets which you can pick up from Yota panel settings menu. And a lot of these widgets let's remove this one, for example. A lot of those widgets, the applications developed by us or applications developed by our third-party partners. You can see the list, and you can change, pick up any widget you want. For example, I can pick up the clock right now, and my RSS feed will be removed by clock. And there are more and more partners who is developing and adjusting their apps for always on display. And as you can see, a list of them, and I'd like to thank them for this. Oh, you don't see the list, but we'll see in a second. Yeah. Partners who can bring content and useful applications for you for always on display. But today there is one more partner. We announced this yesterday, but still we are proud. We have one more partner who decided to adjust the applications for always on display. It's company Twitter. And let me put the Twitter widget on the back side of the phone. Now I can treat, that was a Twitter actually before. Now I can read my tweets on always on display in a very convenient way. Basically, it's updates in real time. I just need to look at this and I know what's happening. So, but there might be moments where you don't want people around you to see information on your always on dashboard about your next meeting, about your agenda. So we created single tap feature which cover the panel with an image. And this is not only about the privacy. Let me show how it works, because it's pretty cool. This is my business panel. 1 second. Yeah. This is my business panel. Can we make it bigger? Can we make the whole screen demo? It would be cool. Yeah, like this. So, by the way, we'll have a hands-on review right after my presentation. I think you'll get a much better feeling. So, but still, few things I want to show you. So this is my business panel. There is next meeting with partners. Sometimes I have a names there. I don't want people next to me see about my next meeting. I just make one tap here on this button, and this information panel will be covered by the picture of my daughter and myself. And by the way, this is first of all, it's very emotional. And it reminds me about what is really important during the busy day. But it's also it's kind of the way to be surprised and surprise people around you, because Yota covers can pick up images from your gallery, from your Facebook, from your Instagram. And this is my mother-in-law, this is my wife. So basically, it's pick up any images. And if you set up slideshow, it surprises you, because sometimes I found myself like I didn't see the picture of my daughter when she was born for 3 years. Last time I probably saw it 3 years ago. And now it's pop up randomly, and it's a kind of surprise me. That's make our phone very emotional, very personal. And that's what I like a lot. But this is not only about images. This is also can be anything. For example, you can pick up library. Can we put the slide on the library? We developed so-called Yotacast, where you can pick image of special libraries of images, like the famous work of art, or architecture, or famous black and white photos, album, any information, anything, even quotes. You want to subscribe for a number of quotes to remind you about something what helps you in your life to achieve your goals? No problem. You are suddenly into underground art? No problem. You are suddenly change your hobby, you are interested in sports, in football, in something, you want to express it to people around you, what is your hobby and interest? No problem. This is quite unique phone in terms of expressing yourself, expressing your personality, individuality, and this is the phone which helps you also to develop yourself. Because, for example, if you meet the girl which you really like and she is in fashion, but you have no idea about this, you can subscribe to the latest fashion news, lesson things, it will show you certain collections, will tell you who it is, in a couple of days you can impress her. So there's quite a lot of things you can do this, because when the image is there, it doesn't consume any power. It's always on. So what it makes all possible? And of course there is one fundamental technology. Yes, thank you. This is the slide I'm supposed to say why I like the phone. I can say it again. I never worry about the battery. I don't need to wake up the phone 150 to 200 times per day and distract myself and people around me and sacrifice face-to-face discussion and communications in favor of very unusual way where we look in the phone and ignore people around us. I can both here in real world and a virtual world in the most convenient way. And of course, this phone, very social, very emotional, reminds me about important moments in my life, emotional moments in my life, reminds me about what is really important, and I can express myself in unlimited number of ways. There is no single Yotaphone on planet, because you decide what it will be on the second side of your Yotaphone. That's why I like the phone. Now technology, which made it all possible. It's electronic paper display technology. Let me tell you how it works. There are two layers. The front, where the image, and the back. Between those layers, there are a lot of capsules with gel-like liquid in those capsules. Within these capsules, black and white particles, which is moving up and down. And when we apply the electricity power or voltage from the back panel, those particles moving up and down and build the image on the front panel, black and white image, and fix it. After this, there is no power consumption. And this image, by the way, can stay static for 10 years without any power, maybe even more than that. We just know because we tested, and with company Inc, they tested only for 10 years. So it doesn't require power, it stays there. So when we need power again, when we need to change the image, we apply a little bit of electricity and voltage, just a little bit. We change the image because particles moving up and down. We fix it, no power consumption. That's what it makes it possible. This technology actually well known before Yotaphone, because people use it in e-readers. But we are the first one who introduced this technology into smartphone, and that was very challenging. That was not easy. Because this technology is very sensitive to the heat difference. If the heat difference on the panel here and here more than 5 degrees, the quality of image will be really bad. So our task was to ensure, by the way, you probably know that, I'm sure you know that in the phone there is few components generate a lot of heat. For example, like powerful Snapdragon processor, which we have here, quad-core processor from Snapdragon from Qualcomm. This processor generates a lot of heat and it's placed here, so I would have a lot of temperature difference between bottom part and the upper part. So we need to introduce the whole heat management system which distributes this heat in a proper way. So we came up with a whole engineering breakthrough solution. We have graphite shield underneath, which kind of keep the heat out of the ink display. On top of this we have ink display, we have touch panel, and we have Gorilla Glass on top. So it's 4 layers display on the back side. And we also introduce a lot of thermosensors and software which measure the heat, but software which still mitigate the difference if there is any. So, and our task was to integrate this complex engineering module into the smartphone in a way it still stays below 9 millimeters, and it still looks beautiful, it's feel good, and it's elegant. By the way, talking about elegancy, this is one of our DNA. We believe the phone should be emotional, should be elegant, you should be proud to carry this phone with you. So we introduced another thing. We integrated the SIM slot with volume buttons, because we believe if you have less holes, less buttons on the phone, that's what makes phone more elegant. That's another innovations we did, nobody else did before. Also, I'd like to mention about the fact that this is LTE capable phone, 4G phone, which cover most of the bands, all European bands. And because there are 2 displays, in order to ensure high connectivity quality, high quality for connectivity, we need to make special design of antennas, which is located at the top and at the bottom. There's quite a lot of antennas. In addition to LTE for all European bands, we also have NFC, Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth, all kind of antennas. And I think I'm quite proud what we managed to achieve. High premium LTE phone with high performance in terms of connectivity. So, my apologies. It was a long few weeks. We've been launching in London yesterday, day before yesterday in Moscow. We've been preparing a lot. I don't remember where we have been for the last 2 weeks and what I did. So, of course, I'd like to thank my team, because to get this product beautifully looking, nicely designed, with high performance, innovative, there was a big team, international team, working on the project. We have research and development center in Finland, in Russia, in Singapore. It's a global, diverse international team which did this product. We also have, we announced yesterday the launch of the phone in 20 countries. We're going to sell global. And I'd like to use this opportunity to thank my team for what we managed to achieve. For them, actually, yesterday and today, quite important moment. We've been trying very hard to bring high competitive, high quality, innovative device which will make life of consumers better. So, and I'd like to thank them. There are only a few of them, but anyway, thanks. So, today we start sales in Italy. And first, the product will be available at our online shop, Yotaphone.com. And the price in Italy will be 749 euro. But the product will be available shortly, in a week or so, in retail partners, in distribution partners, Ingram Micro, and retail partner Mandori. Thank you very much. Mandori. And there is one more channel partner I'd like to announce, is company Vodafone. And the product will be available in Vodafone Italy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in about 600 or 700 shops. So it's basically will cover the whole Italy. And by the way, I would assume you will ask me why Italy. And this is actually a very interesting story. It's a kind of combination of many things. When we launched Yotaphone 1, I probably should say that my wife lived in Italy for 2 years, and we spent a lot of time here. And we have a lot of friends in the fashion industry. And we carry Yotaphone 1 with us constantly, and we went to the shops several times, consumer electronics shops, several shops. And every time we come, it was like 10, 15 minutes, wow. Everybody come together, or every salespeople say, let me show, what is this? This is great, this is cool. And then consumers come around us. And we realized, for some reasons, the excitement about innovations in Yotaphone concept in Italy is quite high. And I think it's related to the fact you appreciate the fact to express yourself, you appreciate the fact to be innovative, you appreciate emotions, an emotional way how people communicate. That's why Yotaphone 1 was so, every time we show create a lot of buzz. Another thing, when we start discussion with our partner Vodafone and discuss what the country should be the first country for the pilot project, Vodafone came back to us saying Italy, for the same reasons. They did their study. So from us, Italy quite an important market. We believe there will be a lot of consumers in Italy who will appreciate our innovation and appreciate our idea with always on display on the back side of the phone. And of course, we believe this is perfect gift for Christmas, to surprise yourself, to surprise loved one, because I don't know, I personally, every time, and particularly if we talk about old friends, or my parents, or people I know for several years, you always think, okay, what shall I give to this new year? I've been given everything already. I make this gift, I make this gift. I'm sure that will be quite unique, quite surprising, quite impressive gift for anybody this Christmas and this New Year. So before I will finish my presentation, and we will invite you to the hands-on review where you really can try the product and test the product, and my team members will show you. I saw that at the beginning you already had a chance. We have a lot of time to do it once again. I'd like to show you one more video. Why did I do this? Why did I show this video? Well, 3 years ago, nobody believed that we can build international smartphone business. We can design and build the innovative, mass market, state-of-art device which will change the way consumer interact with smartphone for better. Nobody believed it will be possible. Today, we have recognition of very respected experts, media. You probably saw Steve Wozniak, Paul Jacobs. Everybody believes this is the future of smartphone. Everybody believes that always-on display will be featured not only in a smartphone but in any devices. Why? Because technology should be more smart. Not just smart, but intelligently smart. Technology should do stuff for us, collaborate with us, predicting what we need, anticipating our needs in advance. Today, like with current smartphones, they're always in a sleeping mode. You have to help the phone before phone helps you. And Yotaphone is the first step in this revolution. We're just showing there is another, better way. The phone can be more proactive in telling us what needs to do without us trying to make some efforts. So, and again, be part of the journey, because we believe this is the first step. It's opened the whole platform for revolution in mobile marketing, in education, in enterprise, in many other areas, in the publishing, in art. With always-on display, this is the next step in the gadget evolution. So, and again, I'd like to thank you for coming today with us so I can share all of you with you from this stage, and right after on one-to-one. I will make myself available for you. I appreciate you are here. I appreciate your enthusiasm about the product, and we will need your support to break through to another side of the smartphone. Because we're a small startup, we're trying to win the market share, we are competing with the big brands. That's not easy, but we believe that we will succeed because we believe consumers are looking for something new, something better, a more intelligent way to communicate. And Yotaphone 2 gives them to them. Thank you very much.